The FBI raided a suspected China-linked biolab in Las Vegas over the weekend. Authorities say they seized over 1,000 samples from the lab for testing. Joining us to discuss is Joshua Philipp, senior investigative reporter with the Epoch Times and host of Crossroads on Epoch TV. So Josh, always great to have you on the show here. Now, investigators are saying the makeshift lab in Las Vegas has links to the Reedley Biolab found in California in 2023, which you've reported on. So can you tell us more about this? What is the situation?
Yeah, so a biolab tied to a Chinese national was found in both Reedley, California, which is a nice little farming town, and also in a place in Las Vegas. The individual who is, being accused with this, he was with the lab in Reedley, California. This is what is it, Jai Bei Ju, and basically, he's wanted. He's a wanted fugitive from Canada. He was caught doing IP theft, intellectual property theft in Canada. Came to the U.S. and he was running what he's being accused of. He's awaiting trial, basically in California still. But the allegation is they were making counterfeit COVID-19 test kits and selling them on like the internet. Um, it was a very strange case. Authorities went in the California one. People might have heard there was a story that they had found Ebola in a Chinese biolab in California. The reality of it is they never actually tested any of the vials. There were refrigerators with unlabeled or unknown substances. Some of them had Chinese names, some of them had code names. There were pieces of paper with it was assumed, basically went with them. The CDC never tested any of the vials. Local officials called, nothing ever happened with it. And everything was destroyed. We never got answers on what was going on there. We never got answers on whether there was Ebola or not because they destroyed everything. We never found out basically anything. What is known, they had live COVID-19, live tuberculosis, live HIV, live handful of other diseases. They also had over 1,000 humanized mice they were doing experiments on, part of the process of making these counterfeit COVID test kits. The individual charged with that is part of the same company that's apparently tied in with this laboratory they just found in Vegas. He claims that he's already since stepped down from that, but we're awaiting information still. We don't really know what the heck is going on with this.
Okay, so Josh, what is the concern here? You mentioned live viruses and diseases in these makeshift biolabs. Is the concern that these pathogens, viruses, could be released accidentally or on purpose?
That's a real concern because, and this is how it was explained to me by several people I interviewed. Okay, concern number one, in the United States, there are really not any strong regulations against doing this. And that was a big concern the Reedley lab raised. I spoke to several local officials about this. Basically, in the United States, if you want to start up a virus testing lab, it's not that difficult. You can register it. You can buy humanized mice. They're only about $7 each. They're not even expensive. You can buy live viruses and you can experiment with it. The laboratory they found in California was in the back part of a recycling center that used to be a refrigeration chamber for, a local rail line, like not even a professional complex. The one they found in Vegas, this was apparently in the back of someone's house. Like it's not a P, not it's not an advanced bio lab. You know what I mean? Like this was not something that advanced, but who knows what they were doing there. The concern is somebody could mess up, somebody could make a mistake, somebody could just dispose of something improperly, and maybe you'll infect somebody, maybe you'll infect yourself, experimenting with different viruses, and then go around and who knows what you could cause? You could cause quite a bit of damage. The other concern that was raised to me, though, is how the CCP could use this, because a lot of these individuals tied in with this Reedley lab, Chinese citizens, people tied in with IP theft, intellectual property theft, people tied in with the United Front, just through their associations. The CCP, if they did want to use this, well, you wouldn't have to launch a biological warfare attack on America. You could make it look like an accident in someone's backyard. And that's what a biowarfare attack on America could look like if they do these types of things.
Okay, so on that concern, Congress's Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party has raised such concerns of bioweapons research at the Reedley lab. So what do you make of those concerns then?
Well, the hard reality is we'll never get answers on the Reedley lab because everything was destroyed. All the evidence was destroyed. They had to hire a company to come in and basically just eradicate everything. The reason was local officials, and I spoke with them. I interviewed them. They called the CDC, and the CDC hung up the phone on them. In the United States, it's not even illegal to do that type of research. In fact, the individual facing charges, he's not facing charges because of that. He's facing charges because he's accused of selling counterfeit, like COVID test kits. It's that kind of stuff. Counterfeiting. It's not related to bioweapons research. We might get answers from the Las Vegas laboratory, though, because we're not given many details yet, but they're, based on the information coming out, authorities, when they raided that lab, they did actually seize the vials. And if they seized the vials, I would imagine there's no way you're going to seize things like that and not test them, if not only for safety. And so we might actually get answers because of the connections to the Las Vegas lab.
Okay, Josh, you said earlier that the CCP somehow could use these biolabs. Is there evidence that shows the CCP is directly involved in these incidents?
Only indirectly. So I did look into that pretty extensively. Went to San Francisco, Chinatown, looked into some of the associations tied in with it. You do have some CCP tied individuals connected to the lab. You also, through the same network, have what are called the Little Red Schools, which are Chinese Communist Party indoctrination centers, schools for kids, like, young kids, based in Las Vegas. And so you do have CCP connections. In terms of Chinese Communist Party biowarfare projects, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, because what a lot of people would tell you, most countries would say we do not have a biowarfare program, but they all do. And the reason is, what is a biowarfare program? A biowarfare program is virus research. A biowarfare program is gain of function research. A biowarfare program looks like what was just found in Las Vegas. Like that is what they actually look like. But they just call it something else, which is virus research or whatever else. Like that is the form that biological weapons research programs take.
So on this issue of biowarfare potentially, we've seen recent cases of Chinese nationals being charged and convicted of smuggling biological pathogens into the US. I'm just wondering here, just finally, is all of this connected in some way?
We don't know. Hopefully, we get answers. Without a doubt, it is known this. Individuals tied in with the Chinese Communist Party have established very, very unsafe, very low quality, containing probably very dangerous pathogens in the United States, experimenting with them with humanized mice on presents, meaning that they are developing things that could potentially infect humans. We do know that Chinese nationals tied in, based on what we're hearing, to the CCP, have, in fact, as you mentioned, been smuggling pathogens into the United States, including things that could be agro-terrorism. For example, that one of them was a fungus that could have destroyed a lot of our crops and killed cattle and killed humans, but mostly destroyed our food supply. All of these should raise alarms. All of these really should raise alarms. If it did turn out that the lab in Reedley, California had Ebola, which we never got answers on, but there were packages sealed in such a way to contain such pathogens, and with a label that did say Ebola, it was destroyed. We'll never know, but that is the fact in terms of what was found. Yeah, that could have very easily been something that could have led to a lot of people dying, and hopefully we get answers on it.
Yeah, I mean, still a lot of unanswered questions, but like you said, at the very least, despite this should raise alarms to everyone. Thank you so much, Josh, for speaking with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.